today we are going to talk about something that is very interesting. We will get personal, Mihaela. We will talk about personal space. So one of the things that people don't think a lot about it is that when we do stuff in terms of personal space, we are conditioning first impressions. So when we are meeting people for the first time, the way that we handle with the personal space of each person will determine the future of the relation, being a love relation or a business relation. Isn't that so, Mihaela?
Hi Felipe, hi everybody. You are listening to this special video today. Yes, you are right.
No, as always.
As always, if does not matter the type of relationship that we are heading towards, if it's a personal or it's a business one, there are some, let's say, invisible zones, as you describe them, personal or social zones, that can change our first impression for good. And when we interact for the first time with a person, our interest is to create a first positive impression.
And you only have one opportunity to do so. You
Yes.
only have one opportunity to create a good first impression. There is not second chance.
Yes, you are right. There is no second chance. That's why you need to know from the start that there are 5 zones in which people feel most comfortable when they are dealing with another one, either if it's business or it's a romantic relationship. Yes?
Mm-hmm. So which are the 5 zones?
Yes, my interest is to start with the one that is that we know the most, and this is called the intimate zone. It's let's calculate this zone like an invisible bubble that is around us from 0, which is our self, and 18 inches in the front. Okay, 18. 1/8 inches.
Can you do it in centimeters? I'm not very good in inches.
Let's say that we are like this in 30 centimeters, let's say. Okay, 30, let's say, more or less. This zone that I'm describing right now is the one that is reserved for the family and for the loved ones, right? In this zone,
especially the 0 one.
Especially the 0 one. In this zone, we embrace people, yes? We can touch people, yes? Or we can whisper to their ears because they are in our intimate zone. But keep in mind that this close contact is appropriate only for very personal relationships, correct?
Okay. So yeah. No going on the first meeting, in a business meeting, to 0.
I don't recommend that. Let's say if you do this mistake, you will have rejection because each person, when meets the first time another person, does not rush into the other person personal space. Why? Because we don't know which are the real intentions of that person. Okay.
Would you say that it also depends on cultural? So let's say Japanese have like that intimate space that is bigger than, for instance, South Americans.
Right, you are right, Filipe, because depends on the culture. As you said, the Asian cultures, they need bigger space, and this is due to their culture and to their past. When we talk about Latin cultures like ours, Romanian or Portuguese, or Latin American cultures, we are closer. We like to share common space. We like to hug more. We like to touch more the other person. So you have to keep in mind wherever you travel, what is the culture? Where do you go? Okay?
So don't go to Japan and start hugging everybody.
No, because nobody will react. No, nobody will answer to you if you do like that. If you keep the respect, you respect their space, they will interact with you. And yeah, tell me.
So which are the other four spaces?
Yes, there is another space that is still close to us, and it's called close personal zone, which is, let's say, the zone that we use for interactions with friends or familiar people from our family or trusted business partners. Okay,
Hmm.
people that, let's say, we have already a relation with that and with them, and they trust us. And in order to see how to recognize this space, you look when the person is greeting you, how the person is shaking the hand with you. Okay,
Hmm.
if the hand is a little bit, I want to try to show you, if the hand is a little bit flexed like
Hmm.
this means that you are closer to the person. So he can trust you. You are a person to be trusted. Okay.
Okay.
If the handshake is along the arm is like this, right? Is straight. Yeah. This
Okay.
means that the person does not does not know us and does not trust us because maybe it's the first encounter. So in this second handshake that is with a long arm, we talk about a far personal space, which is longer. And all sometimes we prefer to conduct our first meeting at this space because we don't know the interest of the other person, or we don't know if we can trust her or him.
So it's interesting because a person that, let's say, does the long like this,
Yes,
maybe he doesn't or she doesn't is aware that he's doing the long one because maybe it's even a bit close to the person, but at the first impression it's doing the long one, and it's like their subconscious mind is like saying, okay, I need distance at first.
yes.
I don't trust people at first, so you will have to enter my circle, but it will be slower, and other people do it like this, more close,
Yeah.
because they feel like that. But if you ask them if they acknowledge the fact that they are doing like that, probably they don't know it.
It's an unconscious factor, Filipe, and you observed very well. It's our duty to see which type of handshake the other person is showing to us, because most of the times they are not conscious actions that they do. So it's our responsibility to observe the type of the handshake. And if it's a long handshake, as you demonstrated before, this means that the person, for the first interaction, he needs space for that particular context. Maybe afterwards, after you say your name and your business type and what you do there, maybe he starts to think, oh, this is an interesting person. I want to know more about this person, and he gets closer to you. But why it's important to observe the type of handshake and the type of personal space from the beginning? It's important because you know not to interfere with the other person's intentions and feelings. And this is very good for you because you have a win-win approach, which is very good in business because you respect the other person and you give him comfort, psychological comfort, which it counts very much when you want to close a contract or to negotiate something for your benefits as well.
Okay, so which are the other three spaces?
Yes, I mentioned already two of them, which is close personal zone and far personal zone,
Okay.
depending on the handshake. I consider the handshake a very good indicator of this close and far personal space. And the fourth one is called social zone. And this we use it in everyday business interactions. The way we sit around the table, when we meet people in their office, it's a bigger zone that we are using, and it's everybody feels safe there because it's social. It's open for everybody. And the last one, and I don't want to stress on this because we use it very rarely when we speak in public. It's the public zone. When you deliver a speech, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So these are the five
Okay, okay.
that I
So, what are the consequences of us not acknowledging that there are these distances that we should be aware of it?
Yes, the consequences are multiple because these five zones are predictable. You can predict them. If you don't become aware of them and you don't predict them when you meet the first person, the first mistake is you make a wrong impression. And I want to give you a personal example in this case because I had such an experience with a salesman that
Mm-hmm.
didn't respect my space when we met for the first time, and he entered very, very aggressively in my close personal zone that I talked to you before. Yes, the
Mm-hmm.
one with the handshake that is like this. And what was my reaction? I pulled back. Yes, and I told him directly, I don't want to hear about your offer.
Mm-hmm.
So, rejection. And when you meet the person for the first time, to take a rejection just like that is not comfortable for you. So
And
you
not
have
not
to
in business, not in personal terms.
not uh, not in business, not in personal relations, because you will be rejected. So first mistake is to make a wrong impression, then rejection, and then the third one is that you don't gain trust.
Mhm.
You gain trust only when you respect the other person and you create that psychological comfort that we talked about, yes? If you remember.
Would you say that these spaces are like a very primitive instinct of survival?
Yes, Felipe, and again, you are right. They are very deeply rooted in our and hardwired in our brain and very primitive. And that's why we have to know them because many years ago, our ancestors, they were very careful when they were meeting another person because they didn't know if it's an enemy or it's a friend. So that's why we have in our brain already, we have the ideas and the circuits to protect ourselves. And that's
So,
why we acknowledge them when we meet another person for the first time.
so in a way, we didn't evolve too much. We are still the same primitive people that are like going into caves and looking outside if there is some animals or some other hunters that might hurt us because they want our food or women or whatever. So
Yes,
it's
it's true, but we evolved in a certain way. This means that now we know this, we have knowledge about this. So, one suggestion,
Mihaela, does everybody knows this? This kind of is aware of this kind of behavior, or when you are aware, in reality, you get an advantage.
some of the people are aware. Some they listen to us and they become aware, okay? And some they take this from their instinct to survival. They use it as an instinct. But what I want to say with knowledge is that now, listening this video, reading a lot of books, we know that there are some five invisible bubbles that we carry with us into our business network, into our workplace, into our family. So my suggestion is to experiment.
Mm.
Experiment with your business partners, with your family members, with your friends, and see the way they protect themselves. Because this is a protection that we do with our handshake like this, long distance.
I, I, I can say that after going to your workshops, something started happening in me is that now I look to people and how they interact like I'm a National Geographic reporter, and I'm so there is no trust. So it's very interesting that when you start to be aware of this, you start like looking to reality in a different way. It's like it's everything is different. So
You see the reality, Felipe.
yeah.
See the reality, because otherwise we create one fake reality in our mind. And this body gesture that we are talking, and we will talk more in the next videos, is not to make to scare you, is to help you to get that advantage that you were mentioning before.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know the reality. I believe this is a very good argument.
So, Mihaela, thank you very much for sharing this knowledge that you have and this experience. It's always great to talk with you about this, and we will do more hangouts and post it on YouTube like we are doing. So, thank you very much, Mihaela. Till next time.
My pleasure. Till the next time. Experiment.